Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This weekend we are diving back into the 6.4 Powerstroke. Try and make some good progress on this thing. Last weekend, we got the cab up, we got the front end disconnected, we pulled the water pump, found some cavitation, so more money to be spent. But this weekend, we're not worried about the front of the engine at all. We gotta focus on the back side of this engine. It needs a new transmission, so we're gonna drop the transmission. We need to replace the rear main seal, and we need to redo the up pipes and fix a couple exhaust manifold bolts. Possibly pull the manifolds and resurface them. We'll see how that goes, but right now, first things first is dropping this transmission. All right, we got the harness disconnected up over here. Wasn't too bad. We just had to unplug all the tricky connectors and loop it over, disconnect it. There's a few like clips where it's secured to the transmission and to the cross member. Now, before we can drop this thing, we need to disconnect the torque converter. I noticed we have a nice little access panel back here, which is really nice. Yeah, now we just got to turn the engine, figure out how to see the bolts through here, because I don't really know how we're gonna do that. It's gonna be a little tricky. Alrighty, we got the torque converter nuts out. I had to bring Dilly over to help me hold the engine steady so it wouldn't spin to get the rest of the nuts out. But after we took the nuts out, we realized there's studs on the torque converter and the trans has to slide out a little bit. So because of that, I'm gonna try and take the transfer case out. I'm not looking forward to it, but it's what we gotta do. So let's start taking some transfer case bolts out and see what happens. Alrighty, y'all, pretty successful night. We got the transmission out. Was a little bit of a pain in the ass, but it really wasn't that bad. It was able to balance on the jack super well, so dropping it wasn't bad at all. The transmission's not super greasy. Just what's super greasy is the frame. So we started spilling some fluid after it tipped over. We got some floor dried down, and then I ended up doing a little bit of scraping across the top of this frame member to help kind of keep our hands a little more clean. Now we're ready for tomorrow's adventure, which is everything else up in here. So should be a really good time. But I'm beat, I'm filthy, so let's jump to tomorrow. All right, we're back. Let's get at it. We need to get underneath this truck. We need to pull those up pipes, and we need to take off this exhaust manifold. After we get that exhaust manifold off and that broken stud or that broken bolt out, then we can focus on the rear main seal. First things first, it's time to battle these up pipes. So let's get what we need and get under there. Alrighty, the up pipes were stupid easy. That made me really happy. Every bolt came off with no problem. I did notice we were missing a bolt up here on the top left earlier, like before. I tried to put a bolt in it to tighten it back down, but as you can see, someone's drilled a ridiculous amount of material out of that. And so I'm probably gonna have to put a bolt and nut on that side and keep it nice and tight. That gasket on this side was also missing quite a bit, so that's definitely where the soot was leaking from. And we're also, I know we're leaking from the manifolds here too, because you can kind of see the gap a little bit. the stud right here, or the bolt right here, is broken off. So I'm worried it warped a little bit. And then I believe on this side, there's just a bolt missing. So I'm really happy with how easy that came out. None of them fought me at all. I just hit them with the impact and they zipped right off. They didn't even struggle. So really, really happy with these. Let's inspect these up pipes on the bench, see if there's any leaks from the collectors and stuff. And then I'll show you the new up pipes I got. All right, looking at the old pipes on the bench, these seem to be perfectly fine. I don't see any leaks around the bellows or anything like that. So I'm a little tempted to run these and not run the new ones I have right here, but I'm probably just gonna run these new ones. As you can see, the new ones here are missing a little extra piping, and that's okay. You don't need the extra piping. It's a little bit of weight loss, so it'll flow a lot better with all this extra stuff. So just trust me on that. Little backstory on these up pipes. The ones without this extra pipe here can't really be made in America for reasons. So more than likely every single option you get that doesn't have the extra pipe is gonna be made in China. So when I was looking for up pipes online, I found a website that had these. The one specifically with the, I guess they'd be called ribbed bellows versus the mesh style bellows like factory. Specifically these ones I was looking for. I found these on one website for $300 and then did a reverse image search and found them on eBay for $200. So I obviously went with those ones. And now we gotta mock them up because someone on the 6'4" groups told me that these don't line up. Doing a visual comparison, they line up just fine. So moment of truth, let's go line these up and see if they fit. I think it goes like this. These line up fucking mint. These line up absolutely perfectly. Oh, whoops. Probably should put you guys over here, huh? Sorry, I'm getting a little excited. Yeah, these fit great. I still gotta take this manifold off, right? So this is just for mock-up. All right, time to take these up pipes off and get that manifold off. Wish me luck. Alrighty guys, this manifold came off so easily. I'm so blessed with how easily that was. Like, I was really dreading this, worried I was gonna snap more bolts, and every single one of them backed out super nice. I'm so happy. We still got the broken stud back here. I'll show you guys that. So we're still gonna have to battle this, but it's got a good amount of girth on it, so I'm really hoping I can get some good vice grips on there. I might have to buy new vice grips just to get that to work, but oh, that was so easy. This was so easy that it motivated me to do the passenger side. I know we're just missing a bolt, but considering these manifolds or these gaskets have holes in them, we should probably do the same to this side because it's the same things happening. So this side's obviously way more complicated, as you can see, because we got AC lines in the way and heat shields. So I think we have to take the alternator and the AC compressor out, but that's a small task for a really big reward, so we're gonna do it. I am so happy with how easy this turned out, and I'm really hoping these aren't super warped. Let's grab a straight edge real quick. It's warped. Yeah, it's for sure warped. See that? All right, we're gonna have to take these in to get resurfaced. Bummer. Oh well. We can just take them to the local machine shop and get them resurfaced. I think they're like 150 per resurface. Okay, let's get this other exhaust manifold off, I guess. All right, we got super lucky and we were able to get the broken exhaust bolt out with just a vice grips. I'm super happy with that. This side was nothing but luck. So let's hope we can have the same amount of luck on the other side. Alrighty, we got the second manifold out. Not a problem. As you can tell, this one has been leaking for a while. Uh-oh. Big old hole in it. Another super easy removal. Alrighty, so I think I decided that I'm going to try and give this a DIY slash redneck resurface on this thing. So I got a piece of tile. I glued down some 500 grit sandpaper to it with some spray adhesive. And now I'm gonna lay these flat and just try and sand them down in a like smooth and circular pattern and see if we can kind of level these out a little bit. I'm not sure if this is gonna work, but we're gonna give it a shot. Alrighty guys, so this was not working out at all. The tile I had was actually pretty bowed, and so it was starting to sand pretty much just the high spots, and it would have sanded it warped. So I decided to bag that idea and started looking at other options for purchase. So when I started looking again, I found a Dorman option. I found some Dorman ones on Amazon for 125 each, which was a really good deal. And so I was like, you know what, I'll just buy that because that's cheaper than resurfacing these. And Dorman's a decent brand sometimes. So I went to go buy that, and then Amazon said they only had one in stock, so I could only buy one. So I decided to buy a pair that I found on eBay for $220, which is cheaper than the Dorman ones. But my thought process is if Dorman's already making a part, any Chinese or eBay option is what the Dorman equivalent, just not under the Dorman brand. Hopefully that's the case. Hopefully they turn out pretty solid. I'm gonna put a straight edge on them before I mount them up. That's the plan. We're just gonna throw those new ones on. I did buy some really quality gaskets. I'm not sure if I showed these or not. These Comet gaskets. They are, or Cometic gaskets. They were 50 bucks for the pair. So nice in-between ground between OEM, which is like $90 for the pair. And as we saw earlier, whatever was in there already blew holes in it. So if this is OEM, I'm glad I didn't spend the money. But in reality, this is probably just cheap Chinese ones because they're very thin and flimsy. Only 2 layers. And the Cometic ones are 3 layers and much thicker. So these should allow for some tolerance stacking if the Chinese ones aren't that good. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Anyways, since that wasn't working, I decided let's just kind of keep diving into this truck and keep doing some inspection. So I pulled the valve cover off on the passenger side. Let me show you the rockers. It's very important to check your rockers on your 6.4, and since, you know, while you're in here, I figured I might as well do it. You got to check the points here, points on the end, and then the points up by the push rod, and then also the center point. Check for any wear at all, and all this side is totally fine, which is really awesome. So hopefully the other side's the same way. I want to check the other side, but I'm not going to do that tonight because it's currently Sunday night. But on the bright side, since we're doing Wednesday uploads, I still have time to take this valve cover off and inspect it in this video. So let's fast forward to tomorrow. Alrighty, we're ready to get started on this side here. We're going to start underneath here, get the dipstick out of the way, glow plug harness, move this electrical connector, and then this whole fuel cooler assembly comes off in one piece, full bracket, and then we just got to disconnect the fuel lines. So should go pretty smooth. All right, guys, good news. These rockers look good too. Check it out. No wear across any of the centers here. No wear or anything weird across the bridges. Hoping I'm getting all this. And no wear on the push rods or anything either. So, super good. This is kind of a really interesting 6.4 motor because it has 0 blow-by. It's got good rockers, the turbos are solid, but it's got a super bad leaky rear main seal and some pretty gnarly cavitation on the front water pump. And it had leaky manifolds and stuff too, so. But the motor's solid, almost all the internals are solid, besides the water pump cavitation. That's really it, so. I'm pretty happy with this motor now. Now that we're this far, I feel a lot better about this thing. Last video when we pulled the cab and pulled this water pump, I was feeling a little devastated and overwhelmed. But with the manifolds coming off easy and the rocker inspection turning out good, I'm kind of happy and I'm kind of excited to keep wrenching on this thing. So now that we got that good news, I'm gonna put this valve cover back on, put the fuel cooler back on, and get everything I touched back on this so we can be ready for next weekend. Next weekend, we're gonna be replacing that rear main seal, installing our new manifolds and up pipes, and getting our new used transmission that's back there installed as well. So the whole back end of this truck should be done next weekend, and we can keep making moves on this. With that being said, that's all we got for this week. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.